All right, welcome to today's daily vlog. I know I missed one yesterday. It happens, gotta live with it. It's not a mistake that I'm happy with, but it is what it is, and I gotta own up to it. So, apologize for not getting one out yesterday. But what I do want to talk about is actually a topic from yesterday, and that has to do with my personal speed enhancement. Now, basically, I have a pretty good sprinting background. Like, I did run, track in high school. I played collegiate football at the Division II level. So when it comes to sprint training, like, I have sprint trained before. I sprint trained for a long time, for many years. So I do have a strong sprinting background. And the reason I'm emphasizing that is because yesterday I lifetime PR'd my sprint, and I haven't sprint in months. But I'm not here to say that that's because, like, I'm a genetic freak or anything like that, or like the programming, like I'm doing, which is all powerlifting, is that's the answer for speed. Like, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that, this is a very good case of where you got to look at all the information that's around. You got to look at as many factors as possible so that you can really decide what had an influence and what had the most influence. So for me, one, I have a pretty strong sprinting background. My lifetime PR was a 4.69 laser, and I actually ran the 40 in the same exact spot. So that actually makes it even a little bit better, more reliable. So I've run that type of speed before. I dropped down when I ran it. So when I ran it the other day, I was at 202 pounds. When I ran that 4.69, 205 pounds. What I've been all before that, I was 215, 225, right? So the last time I sprinted was in December, the first week of December, and I was running on a laser. I ran a 4.76. Right? I was trying to sprint once a week. I was doing it for about 3 weeks. And then before that, I hadn't really sprinted at all. The only thing that I had been doing from, probably last, I want to say, July, I guess, till about December was I took my own transitioning to powerlifting. And all that really meant for me was I was beginning to drop weight. I was beginning to fix all my technique on the lifts, and I was getting stronger, absolute at first, and then when I was dropping weight, I was getting stronger relative to body weight. So, and on top of that, the training that I was doing incorporated dynamic effort work. So I was still doing power-based work, which definitely had a factor. I was still doing some specific exercises for sprinting, like a bunch of foot and stability work, like some isometrics, not extensively, but every time I had to demonstrate those to somebody, I was doing them. So I guess truly microdosing is what I was doing. So basically from December till third week of February, whatever you want to call it, I dropped off a tenth and a half of my 40. But and I didn't sprint at all, but that doesn't mean that, then what do I need to do? I need to start doing the same powerlifting type of program, just getting everybody stronger like I should, because I did that and that worked. That's not it. That's not the answer. I know that the factors were that I had spikes on, ran in order track, I was relatively fresh, and I lost 15 pounds. Like, you know what I mean? And the book, Underground Secrets to Faster Running, Barry Ross, whether you agree with the book or not, at the end of the day, gives a very good, makes a very good point that, basically, like, sprinting is a combination really of how fast your contact time is and, how well you can basically resist gravity. So, like, the limiting forces on you when you're in stance and sprinting is gravity, and that gravity is acting on your body weight. So really it's your body weight. So if you decrease your body weight, which is like your mass specific force, if you decrease mass specific force, or if you increase mass specific force by getting stronger relative to body weight, which I did both of, therefore you get faster. So those two principles, yes, are right, but I had a strong sprinting background already, and I was doing some minor things for my foot and ankle stiffness. So, like, Does that mean that the program I was doing is what I should shoot to athletes? No, because I was doing a powerlifting program. And if this powerlifting program was given to somebody else who didn't have a strong background, they probably would have seen they would have seen some similar, they hopefully would have seen some similar strength gains, but they probably wouldn't have seen any coordination with sprinting because they didn't have that background. I had that background. And on top of that, we deal with athletes, and unless you're dealing with track and field, and even if you are dealing with track and field, it's not all linear. You know what I mean? And especially in the training is what I'm saying. It's not all linear. So at the end of the day, I just want to make it clear that, even though like I had a positive experience with, just getting stronger and being able to run faster, like, yes, those concepts are true, but I'm not just scrapping everything I'm doing and turning everything back into the powerlifting type of mentality. Because at the end of the day, if I have to do any other movement besides straight line sprinting involving another human, I'm not going to be as good of an athlete as most of the athletes that I train. You know what I mean? They're attuned to that kind of information, which I'm not. They have better movement profiles as far as lateral, frontals, transverse movement, and specific to their sports. And I don't have that. I don't have that tactical awareness anymore. Like all those things I don't have. Like just because I was able to run faster in a straight line doesn't mean anything. And that goes the same for even if you get your athletes to run faster in a straight line. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. So I just wanted to make that point, regarding my sprint performance and, like kind of I don't know if anybody was, thinking about that or like, oh, wow, like, all we see on Instagram is, this guy lifting and like getting stronger. So like, I mean, that's probably the answer to speed. And I don't want that to be the case. I just want it to be known that you got to look at all the factors around it. And one of the factors is that I had a strong sprinting background. I was fresh. I had spikes on. I had lost 15 pounds and I had gotten stronger relative to body weight. Now, if you can accomplish the two of those things, like if you lose weight and you get stronger relative to body weight, well, the thing is in most sports, especially as you progress, you're not trying to lose weight. You know what I mean? Unless you're overweight, and if you're overweight, well, you're probably not performing at a good level anyway. So that's just what I wanted to make clear. I just kind of want to talk about at the end of the week. If you have any questions about that, especially like, what do I think about sprint training, especially with the weight room coordination, which still very, very low level on, still trying to get my own philosophy on that. Listening to, all the experts out there, trying to gather all the information I can. That's where I'm at. So if you are interested in striking up a conversation, you know what to do. Have a good weekend.